Good evening, good evening. It's 7 p.m. and Wednesday night. I'm Ali Shamsuddin, and this is Standing for the People. And I'm gonna have a special guest tonight. And as I always say, this program is brought to you by the people. You never hear me saying any particular sponsor for this show because what happens, people, citizens out there just like yourself, we got together and said, Shamsuddin used to be on the air. Views from the Black Side with Mr. Tisdale, and we want you back on air. The purpose of this show is to bring facts to us, the citizens, that we can use to help Jackson be better, to help Hinds County be better, to help the state of Mississippi be better for that matter. You know, we as citizens got to understand that in order to exercise your total rights as a citizen, one, you got to participate. And how do you participate? You register and you vote. It's not just about talking in the streets and talking to your neighbor or your friends or however. If you don't register and vote, you're not exercising your total rights as an American citizen. So now how do we make our cities work better? We vote people in who understand why we put them there. How do we make our county run better? We vote people in who understand why we put them there. And their role is to function, to spend our tax dollars in a responsible manner, such that we would see the progress and the production of our efforts as citizens. You're going to pay taxes whether you like it, don't like it, you're going to pay taxes. So sometimes people say, well, am I a taxpayer? I haven't had a job in 2 or 3 years. If you're spending money, listen carefully out there, because sometimes people keep asking me that same thing when you say, I'm a taxpayer, how am I? You spending money, you're a taxpayer. You have to pay taxes to spend money, if you can grasp that. So I know you can't. As I say all the time, we're not dumb, we're not stupid, we've been uninformed. And that's what has kept us in this situation that we have found ourselves in, even though we as African Americans for almost the past 30 years have been running, has been in control of Jackson and Hinds County, Jackson Public School, Hinds County Public School. Not a dollar of that tax money to go to any of those entities can be spent unless some Black people, African Americans, decide on what that dollar is going to be spent on. They don't have to ask the legislature over there. Once they get the money in their budget, it's under their control. Even at that, I have to mention I had State Senator Solly Norwood on the program a few weeks ago, and he pointed out the hundreds of thousands of dollars that the city of Jackson are not getting, even though the legislature have allotted this money for city improvements for Jackson. In black and white, I saw close to $1 million in funding that should have gone to Jackson over the past 4 years that didn't come to Jackson simply because Jackson didn't do what was necessary to get the money. And what was that? That was do an audit of the budget, show where they've been spending the money, and present it to the legislature so that they could get that money. It's the same thing with the feds. The feds want to know what's happening with the money when they send it this way. And it got to the point it's just all over the street. The news, everybody know that nobody want to send money to Jackson because they don't know what's happening with the money. They don't know who's spending it, who's getting it, and we got a city council over there of 7 members who are supposed to be telling us. So the only way we're gonna circumvent that type of attitude that we've had to deal with now for the past almost 30 years is to really pay attention, we have to register and we have to vote. And when people don't produce, vote them out. It's simple as that. It's not about friendship and all that. Because people hear me talking about the school superintendent here at Jackson Public School. I don't know the guy personally. Don't know him personally. But I can see when a person is being productive and not. I can do that. So isn't that not a personal issue with me? I'm concerned about our children's welfare and our city, and that's our future. But what I'm going to do tonight, we're still going to do call in 601-948-5950. You'll be able to call in and ask. My guest tonight is David Archie, former supervisor for Hinds County. And, you know, they've gone through quite a bit here with the in courts to get this new election that we are supposed to have. So I'm going to let him tell us about it because a lot of people are talking about just what happened there and where are we going from here. And hopefully, you know, people, you'll call in and ask him some questions as to what he intends to do should he get that position back. So, you know, I told him if the questions come in hardball, he's going to have to answer them hardball. And I think he's up to it.
No doubt about it.
Okay, well, David, you got the mic, brother.
Judge, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man.
Good. It's a pleasure being here. You know, I first of all, I just want to thank the good Lord. And I want to thank my team that's been with me every step of the way, as well as my family. And let me just tell you, 2.5-year fight in and out of court, Supreme Court on 2 different occasions, Circuit Court on 3 different occasions. That's 5 times. We won 4 times, both times in the Supreme Court and one in the Circuit Court when it matters.
So what was the basic issue? Why did you go to court in the first place?
Well, we felt all along that after doing our ballot box examination of the entire election in 2023 supervisor race, we found from our investigation that there is no way in the world that you can have a fair election and you get rid of the voting machines. Okay. In 26 precincts where people go into the poll to vote, more than 25 precincts because there are more than one voting machine in some precincts. Sometimes they have 2 voting machines in the precinct.
Right.
But we only found 1 voting machine. I mean, the whole voting machine where you cast your ballot. We believe that they're either in the Mississippi River or the Pearl River. But they did not show up at court. They did not show up during our ballot box examination and our ballot box review. The Democratic Party did not bring them and give them, is my understanding, to the circuit clerk as he testified that they did not deliver that stuff to him where he's able to protect it and to put it in the vault and to hold it until it was time to go to court. He did not have the stuff. He testified to that.
So you were running as a Democrat, is that right?
As a Democrat. It was a Democratic primary.
Okay, so the Democrats were in charge of
the local Hinds County Democratic.
Collecting the votes, counting the votes, seeing that all of it done right. Okay.
They was in charge of the machines. They was in charge of the signature books where people go into the polling place and sign their name, show their ID, and they get their ballot to vote. In 18, remember I told you we got 26 precincts.
Right.
18 of the 26 precincts sign-in books, voting books, was gone. They was never found.
18?
18 of them.
Out of 26?
Out of 26.
How could they even certify an election like that?
Well, that's why the judge agreed with us. If you don't have the stuff to prove it, that you won. And we believe that some of them got rid of the stuff so we couldn't prove fraud. That's what we believe.
Okay.
And okay, let me give you another example, and everybody knows this. Before the election gets started, in that morning, 6:45 a.m. in the morning, they have a printout. They call that the machine tape that is inside of that voting machine. And it prints you out a tape. And everybody that is on that ballot, nobody should have a vote.
Right.
No one.
Right.
And then in the evening time, when that election is over with, they print that tape out again, and it'll tell you how many votes David Archie got, how many votes John Brown got. It'll tell you how many votes that the governor got, because he was in that race on the primary. The folks that was running for governor on the primary side,
Okay.
Democratic. Well, let me just tell you, Joe, we did not find any of the printouts to calculate any of the votes for the entire election for anybody.
So you wonder how they thought that they would get away with that. It was so blatant.
Well, we don't know if they've gotten away with it before, because most people don't take it to the end.
Right.
This fight is a 2.5-year fight,
I'm glad you did.
in and out of court.
People understand what I had to go through at the Democratic Party, but
And not only that, this is not a black or white thing, a Republican or a Democrat,
right.
but this is an integrity thing in terms of people have died to have their vote cast for the candidate of their choice.
Well, it don't make sense if, we people like myself or yourself or Larry Big White or Reverend Jackson or many others out there, that we are appealing to people to register to vote. And then all of a sudden, their votes are not counted.
And it's not my fault, y'all. I want the people to know they stole the election from the people.
That's what happened.
They stole the people vote. I only had one vote. And by the way, Judge, I went to look at the book where I signed my name to vote for myself to get my ballot. I couldn't even find my name where I signed my signature to vote, and could not find my opponent's signature.
That was very blatant.
I mean, so we talking about some thievery and some theft. And boy, it went down in the 2023 Hinds County primary election. It went down, man, and it's almost unbelievable. And the judge, I brought it so you can. It wasn't that David Archie is saying this, and I don't want him to make it about. Well, that's the one that went to the. This is the first order. I want you to see it. I know I brought it. I'll be prepared.
Well, this is a very prolonged struggle that you went through here.
Yeah, here it is right here.
To try to keep it before the people. And so what's the order saying?
Look what the judge said in his order. This court conducted an evidentiary hearing on February 25th, 2026, in March of 27, April of 29. We went to court on 4 different days. At the closing testimony, the court directed counsel for both parties to submit a proposal finding of facts and conclusion of the law, where were timely submitted on and before May 15th. The court thereafter convened with its advisory committee consisting of the 4 remaining election commissioners to review the proposed finding. Each of the 4 remaining election commissioners joined the court's finding of facts as set forth in. No commissioner voiced any objection. The advisory jury, Jamal Clark, was not included in the advisory panel because testimony at the trial established that the thumb drive, which should have been sealed in the election box, was found at Mr. Clark's desk, creating an impermissible conflict that precluded his participation. Having considered the testimony of the witnesses, the proposed finding of fact and conclusion of law submitted by counsel, the deliberation of the advisory jury, the court make the following finding of facts and conclusion of law and enter its order. This election contest arises from August 8, 2023 election. We talked about that. The courts expressly finds that there was no fraud motive on the part of any person involved in the conduct of the August 8, 2023 primary. Nothing in this order shall construct as interference that election official or worker act improperly with wrongful intent. The statutory safeguard designed to preserve and verify election results nevertheless failed in a number of material respected as set forth below. Across all 26 precincts, I just told you we had 26, the following materials were missing or unaccounted for. All District 2 voting machines in or reports showing machine serials numbers, beginning and ending machine tapes, change of custody, that means go from the Democratic Party to Zach Wallace, for the media sticks, and the voter registration book. The deficiency are materials to the integrity of the election recorded. The subpoena was issued to the circuit clerk to bring the court the election boxes. The circuit clerk Wallace testified from the witness stand that he did not have possession of those boxes. The Mississippi law imposed a clear statutory duty upon the circuit clerk to maintain and secure possession of an election box.
They never provided the election boxes for the clerk.
For the clerk to protect the Democratic Party. They just did what they wanted to do.
So this count that they did was somewhere other than where it was supposed to be.
Where it didn't come to him, he said.
Okay.
I mean, he got on the witness stand and testified to that. He said, to ensure that they remain locked, to safeguard the contents therein, the circuit clerk failed to take possession of the election boxes as required by law. During the recompilation of the election results, meaning the counting of the votes, Jacqueline Amos made a statement which were introduced into evidence at trial, indicating that adverse deposition toward petitioner David L. Archie, the court does not find Ms. Amos in act in a fraudulent intent. However, the extent of those statements on records created as minimal the appearance of partiality. Ms. Amos was therefore required to recuse herself from any participation in the recompilation or certification of the election results pertaining to David Archie and failed to do so. So what the judge said that Ms. Amos, who was the chairperson of the Hinds County Democratic Executive Committee, should have never even participated. She should have recused herself. When a judge have a conflict of interest, what they do?
They recuse themselves.
They recuse themselves.
Right.
So he's saying that Jackie Amos, because she made the statement that she was way before they counted the votes, what she was going to do to me, she was going to F me.
Mm.
And so the judge said she should have never said that if she's going to be impartial and sitting in the seat of the chair, because the state law says you must not be biased and you must be impartial when it comes to an election.
Right, right.
And so all of this stuff went on. The judge ruled in our favor. Make a long story short, he threw out the whole entire election. And he would have never thrown out the election had they brought those machines. How do machines walk away, Dill? How do the voting machines get lost? How do they go away?
Right, right.
When you got all these people in charge. And so how do you sign the book and you show your ID? We was making up all that fuss about, well, Mississippi shouldn't have voting ID. Well, in this case, they had voting ID and the people signed their books and showed their ID, and we could still find their signature because the books was gone. And they don't just walk away.
Of course not.
And the people that running the precinct saying that they placed that stuff inside of those bags. They supposed to have made it to the courthouse, and it should have been given to Zach Wallace.
So it seems instead of just coming right out and saying people, wantonly did things that were wrong, they just said things were missing. So you have to make your own conclusion
You gotta make your own
to
conclusion.
that extent. But all in all, it still tainted the election to the
Absolutely.
extent that it has to be voided.
But what if we had not done the investigation?
Right,
What if we had not looked into it?
right,
We would have just went on the fact you can just take somebody vote and just throw it away and put in whoever you want in office. Listen, they didn't steal it from me. They stole it from the people.
Well, as I say here, it doesn't matter. As you said, it's not a party thing. It's not a black-white thing now. It's about doing the right thing. And I've had my issues with the local Democratic commission. Even though I ran as a Democrat, I was trying to run as a Democrat and ran into this stalwart with members on the Democratic commission. But all in all, where are you at now with this?
Let me say the last word on that part. So, Judge, if I don't investigate it and I don't risk it all, because had I lost, people would have perhaps threw me completely under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't have nothing from the beginning.
Right.
He shouldn't have went in there trying to challenge that election.
Right.
He's a sore loser.
Right.
He's this, he's that.
Right. Right.
But not only did I have said it, the Supreme Court have said it, the Circuit Court have said it, and I said it, and my team said it, and we proved it. And so the people ought to be free to understand that there is one person that was in that race, stayed true to what a vote was about, and that is the integrity of the vote. Now, where we are now.
Right.
Man, they are trying to confuse people all over the place. Let me tell y'all something. It's going to be an election July 14th, Judge.
Is it still on?
The election is still on. Listen, y'all. I don't know if the news media have gotten it right. I don't know who's reporting what. I don't know if Instagram or Facebook has gotten it right. But the judge ordered a new election. And he said that he wanted this election fast tracked. And we must have this election in 45 days. And so after the judge ordered the election, then they must send that information over to the governor's office.
Okay.
Where the governor is able to sign off on the election.
Okay.
And set the date. And mostly, they set the date that which the election commissioners or whoever giving the election a date that they pick. Most of the time they go along with that particular date.
Okay.
In this case, we feel like they're going to go along with that date as well. But this is the problem. The governor only received the right piece of paper on just today. Today make it 2 weeks, Judge, since the judge ruled.
Right.
Read that date. That's the same thing that the governor's reading.
This 17th day of June, 2026.
That's a certified copy.
I see here.
A certified copy that of the order, and I can read the order, Judge. And so everybody would know where it stands. Look, y'all getting it from the horse's mouth. You ain't getting it from the air.
Those who are watching on Facebook and on StreamYard here, standing for the people.
Hey, Judge, and this is the first interview I've done since I was able to get this piece of paper. Very first.
Glad to have
So
you
this
here.
is breaking news.
Breaking news.
All right, and so this cause came in a minute, this court order for a special election dated June 9th, 2026, Mississippi Code section 23-15-937 provides in pertinent parts that when an election is vacated, that the governor shall call a special election for the office involved. To the extent that the previous order for the special election set a deadline or time for the special election is vacated, and the governor of the state of Mississippi shall set the special election for Hinds County Supervisor District 2. This court would hope that the governor would keep the special election date previously set. It is therefore ordered, and that the special election for Hinds County Supervisor District 2 shall be set for a date by the governor of the state of Mississippi. It's further ordered that this court previous order for special election shall otherwise remain in force, meaning that all the stuff that the judge have said should remain in force.
Well, you know,
The
of
only
course, what
thing that
people
was
are
changed.
saying now, they heard vacate me that everything was thrown out and started from the
Yeah,
beginning. or
They
whatever.
thought that he had vacated the election and wasn't gonna have no election, but
Right.
he didn't vacate the election. He vacated the order that he previous wrote and wrote the complete correct order to the governor.
Okay. Well, we're gonna open the lines up now. I see people have been trying to call. You can try
Yeah.
to call back. You know, Mr. Archie here was a supervisor previously, and then
But let me tell you a little bit about that.
Yes, go ahead.
So District 2 really don't have a supervisor. There's two things that could have happened, Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Had the judge vacated the seat, we couldn't have an election, a superseded election.
Mm-hmm.
We would have had to follow other laws. So it was best to leave him in the seat so we can go right on and have the election.
Let's see.
So
what
the laws
comes
are
back.
different.
Go ahead, call it on there.
Dave,
Yes.
so all this went down, this Master D, I called you on the phone, man, and gave you the scoop about the Democratic Party. And I want to put my name on the ballot, got 800 votes. I got a phone call, said they done took 400 votes from you in the ballot box and fell off the back of 55. That's before they even made the news. Now, there's something deadly wrong with the Democratic Party. And y'all ain't on yet. And I inform you that the many machines coming out of Nebraska and the Democratic chairman owns the company that put the Reed component, and Tony Smith is in with him because he had the maintenance of those machines. They don't want you there because you're trying to be honest and clean like me, and they run around and say things about me. If anybody say things about me, they're informed. Because I ain't got nothing on. You know, I've been in this race for a long time, and the problem is the Democratic Party. And then the guy gave Malcolm $50,000 he lost, and that race should have been recalled because my cousin Ashley Floyd actually won that election. She got more votes than anybody. Then all of a sudden, her vote come up missing, my vote come up missing. Man, the problem is people ain't voting because we have all this nefarious Negroes in the Democratic Party. And I think if you're over 65, you ain't speaking for black people in the Democrats no more. Y'all been taking dirty money, dealing with dirty people, and you know who you are. And you sit there, especially these drug dealing lawyers, and white and black. See, that's what's going on in Jackson. It's
But
corrupt.
you saying a whole lot there, brother, and I'm gonna let David comment on what you're saying. Appreciate your call.
Well, I would just say to you, my brother, we're going to have a fair and clean election because this particular election is going to be ran by the election commissioners. And I think we have some wonderful election commissioners,
As opposed to who now?
the Democratic Executive Committee.
As opposed to them.
The Democratic Party ran the last election, the Hinds County Democratic Executive Committee.
Right.
And so the judge put it in the hands of the Hinds County Election Commission, two different entities.
Okay.
And we think that they're going to do a good job. They're going to follow the laws. They're going to make sure that those machines get back and forth safe. They're going to have eyes watching. I don't know if they're going to call the Attorney General office, the FBI office, wherever they need to have following those machines to make sure that this does not happen again.
Right.
I believe that they would do it. And I just think that when this happened, we're gonna win this election and we're gonna win it big time. Listen, you pretty much shocked when you know that you've done a superb job as a supervisor. There was one or two things that people did not agree with me on, and that was pretty much my antics. I've apologized for the antics. I've said to the people that if I've offended you in any kind of way, that part of it is over with.
Mm-hmm.
I brought more money to this county. I'm probably the hardest working supervisor that have been in Hinds County for many, many years. I'm committed to the people. I'm going to get the job. People have been suffering since I left that seat, Judge.
Well, and I want to say this. I had what Tony Smith on the show not long ago. Of course, he is suggesting, said that he's done a whole lot for the district. I want you to respond to that after this call. Go ahead, Carl, you're on there.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, and Mr. Ike.
Hello, sir.
I appreciate what you've done for challenging the status quo. But I mean, after the fact, you presented evidence to show that what happened did occur. What did the FBI have the FBI done anything about the situation?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, they'll pick.
You know, I said, well, you know, Chudway should be able to recall his election. But that means that John Horn might not be the proper mayor for the city church.
So, but this is the thing. There are rules that you got to follow when you are doing an election. Like you have a time frame to contest an election or to contest the Democratic Party results, and so you must follow that time frame. And you just can't do it the way you want to do it.
There's the wrong doing that occurred. Chudway and all the rest of the people that lost their election, the same thing could happen to them.
I hear you, brother.
That sort of thing going on. I didn't even think we never. We got so
I concur with you, brother. I think what David has done here has really opened the eyes of a lot of people. For one, when I was trying to get into the race for mayor, I contested even the makeup of the Democratic Election Commission, but people that were voting that shouldn't have been. But now that this process, we've seen how things would be done if no one is looking. That's one of the things that I continue to say. We have to learn that we got to watch people. We can't just assume because there's a black face in a seat that they're going to be working for our behalf. And you make a good point.
Free Chudway.
All right, thank you for the call, brother.
So you know, we had a race. There was a lot of folks running for state representative, supervisor, and all that, but nobody challenged their election.
Right.
So perhaps their election would have got thrown out had they continued the process and they found the things that we found.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Carly, on there.
Jared, thank you for taking my call, Pastor Jackson.
Yes, sir, Reverend Jackson. And thank you for your award and your presentation last week, Reverend Jackson. I got a lot of commendations on it, and I really appreciate you, brother.
Hey, Pastor Jackson, how are you?
David, listen, Paul. I want you to know when God is with you, the devil in hell can't do you no harm.
Now that's coming from
That's
coming from a warrior out there, man.
I want you to know, David. I want everybody to know District 2. If we don't go, you ain't gonna get what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the same old thing. The ditches is running over. Out here in President Hill, they look like a third world country. And I'm asking everybody, I'm not asking you, I'm begging you, if you're into get up office, if you have to waddle to the polls, crawl, whatever y'all got to do. David Archer is the man. He's not scared. Anytime a man goes forth that many times, takes his own. Are y'all listening to me?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Please, man. Please, sir. Go to the poll and vote for David L. Archer. Judge, I see why they didn't want you in there. But Judge, we want you to run again. And I'm going to support you. And I want to say I'm going on record today. I'm supporting David Archer. And I'm going with you, David, to hell freeze up. And after hell freeze up, we're going to stay on the ice.
Look out now, brother.
A lot of black folks don't understand, Judge, what it means when Megan, Charles Evans, A lot of folks didn't like it, but they stood up. If
Absolutely.
you don't love the people, you will betray.
Well, you will be fair. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reverend Jackson, I appreciate it. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you, Reverend. Appreciate that.
And I appreciate you taking my call. And Jerry, let me say this. We got something else for you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate whatever you do for me, Reverend Jackson.
It's right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
It's right around. David, we're gonna go and vote. We're gonna get us a bullhorn. And get us a four-wheeler. We're gonna ride all over places in here, let me folks. So you got to get up. If you wanna get the worm, you got to get up there early.
That's right.
That's
Go
it.
and vote.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you, Reverend Jackson. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Now, stay on this vacate because people are, the word out in the street now, they're trying to make people believe that your victory has been thrown out.
You have vacated the election,
Right, right.
the order of the election, but no, that's not the case.
Okay.
He just vacated the
So the
previous
election, new
order.
election is still on.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I know there's a lot of folks saying a lot of things, but the other side are just completely afraid and completely scared. First, they come on the courthouse step. If y'all remember, the other side came on the courthouse steps and said that they was not going to appeal the case. That's the other thing that is in the air. They can appeal all they want. The judge denied the stay of the election on that Wednesday. And then it's my understanding that it was a call made to the judge and he denied it on that Friday. So the denying of the stay happened on two different occasions. So the election is going to happen regardless of whether or not they appeal. And the Supreme Court may not see this matter for another year.
Right, right.
And so the election is going to take place.
Okay, it's on track.
And it's on track. And the judge said we want to be on fast track. But Judge, I'm not fighting just for myself. I'm fighting for the people. The same thing that I did in this election, that's the way that I'm going to take care of their tax dollars.
Right.
To make sure that the tax dollars come back to their community.
Right.
Making sure that their roads are fixed out in the rural, in Jackson, out in Raymond, down in Clinton, Bolton, Edwards, West Rural Hines County, all of those areas that have been forgotten about. I brought millions and millions. I know I went to DC on several occasions. I haven't heard anybody gone back to Washington, DC, and especially the guy that's sitting in this seat. I don't think he gone nowhere to get $2. I think he just waiting on somebody to bring some money, and then he uses it the way he want to use it.
Right.
You got to be able to understand a project, write the project up, and know where you can go get the money from to fund the project. You don't have to always use Hines County taxpayer dollars. A lot of the money that I was using, it was federal government and state money for the areas. In that way, more money would stay in the budget for local projects, things to be done in local community. Judge, I'm the only supervisor, I think, in the history of Hines County that became a certified county supervisor. What you mean about that, David? I earned that by completing a rigorous curriculum of budgeting, law, human resources, management, ethics, and a whole lot more. That means that you had to get up and go to class. You don't just go to the conventions and go to these places and never walk into the door of the classroom.
Right.
And I got a pen, and they gave me an award, and that said that has never been done in Hines County before, that I completed all the classes, just like graduating from college, that was needed for a supervisor to be a certified county supervisor.
Carla, you on there?
Thank you. So I have a question for Mr. Archie. Mr. Archie, if you, I guess you could do a campaign, but what will you be doing different this time around than what you did the last time around that you feel like it's going to put you as being the perfect person that we should vote for over the person that's holding the seat now? What different would you be bringing to the table?
Okay, so
Thank you
there
for
was
your
there,
call.
there was
Carl.
one
Thank
thing,
you.
Carla, there was one thing that people did not like about my character, and that was sometime I would use antics in trying to explain stuff. And so now I've taken that completely away from my ability to operate and to get along with others. And so, and those antics was only used because I was trying to protect the people.
Mhm,
And the people did not understand how I was fighting.
mhm,
I was bringing it up. I would make the argument because many times when you get the information to and getting ready to vote on something, you only see it 2 hours before you vote on it. And these are $1 million projects.
right.
And some of the supervisors was trying to keep it away from you because you know that I would probably give it to the public. See, all of this money is public money,
Right.
and the people should know where their money is going. And at that time, I was perhaps the only one that was down there to shoot straight with the public and tell them what was going on. And so the supervisors, there was 3 supervisors that was using that against me, and they was paying people. Even the news media, I didn't say they was paying the news media, but they were paying people to put out bad information on me.
Mhm,
And the news media would only cover the antics. They would not cover the issue. They would not cover where your money was being spent in places that they shouldn't have been spent,
mhm.
right? And so that's how that information and how they kept showing arguments. But I couldn't argue by myself, I don't think.
Right.
Most arguments you get in, you're gonna get into it.
Well, one of the big issues that, you know, I keep promoting here and people call in about is we don't know about anything until it's over. You know,
Till it's
you know,
over.
it's too late to do anything about it at that point.
And that's why I was saying, Judge, I was trying to be not only productive but proactive in giving the information to the people before it happened, not when it was too late.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Judge Champion, Attorney Mark, how you doing?
All right, brother, how you?
I'm good. I hear you loud and clear. You're doing a good job. You always do a good job. Keep up good work.
Appreciate you, brother.
I had a question for Mr. Archer, and this is the question. The judge ruled the first time that because of the failure of Zach Wallace, Zach didn't understand his statutory obligation. Well, did the same judge who ruled today set aside his own ruling because he called for a special election? He didn't have the authority to do it. Am I missing something? Did that happen or is that right or what? I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna let y'all respond.
Okay, can you? Well, I wish you had. Did you
Well,
understand this question?
Yeah, I understand. I
Okay,
answered.
okay.
Did you hang up?
He's gone. Yeah, he's gone.
So Warren Martin had an opportunity to win his case in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
We went to court on 5 different occasions. Warren Martin lost on 4 different occasions.
Okay.
And when he won on that one occasion, there was 5 or 6 or 7 other different lawyers helping him win that case.
Okay, but now was he the lead attorney for
What?
Tony Smith?
Yeah, let me explain to you. He want to throw rocks at the judge when the judge had ruled against him. Why he didn't throw rocks at the judge when he was in front of the judge, saying that the judge don't know what he's doing. That's the time to speak up and speak out. Had the judge ruled for him, he would not be saying the things that he's saying. Now, to answer his question, the judge, I don't talk for a judge.
Right.
Judge speak for the people and speak when a case come before them and they make a ruling on the case. They use law terminology to present whatever they're going to present in their findings and how they do stuff, right?
Well, he's
I didn't go to school for that. But the bottom line is tell him to speak up on the 4 times that he lost. And then the one time that he won Martin, he had help from 5 other different lawyers from other different teams, and he barely won that case. And then we came back and won that case. And so apparently it's not the judge, apparently it's Warren Martin.
Are you hearing this, Warren? I see you calling back. Are you hearing this? Can you, because I didn't quite understand what you were trying to present there. Can you clarify it for us?
Yeah, so what happened was, Second Judge Ford ruled that essentially he declared a new election because he could not determine the will of folks, right? And what he said was that Wallace, as a circuit clerk, violated his statutory obligations because when Mr. Archie's camp wanted to review the election materials, the Zach couldn't provide all the election materials. And statutorily, it's his obligation to serve as custodian of those election materials, right? So simply, he said in his order, Judge Ford, that Zach violated his statutory obligation.
I think he just read that. I don't know if you were listening at that time, but he just read that.
Now I answer his question. Now let's see, can he answer my question?
Okay.
Let me see.
Sure.
Okay. Did you win in the courtroom or did you lose?
There's not been a final
No. Did you win? Well, hold up, now. Wait a minute. See, you see what I'm saying?
Wait,
Now, wait. Hold. So this is the question.
Okay.
Maybe you should ask the question. On the day of the finding and the judge ruled on this particular case in this courtroom, not for the future courtroom, I'm talking about the Hinds County Circuit courtroom. Did Anthony Tony Smith lose with you being the attorney, Warren Mark?
That's the question
No.
to you, Brother Warren.
No, because he still holds
No. You hear that?
and there's no finality in the judgment. So had Mr. Smith chosen not to appeal and 30 days to go by, I would agree with you, Mr. Arch, it would be a final judgment. But it's not a final judgment because now the Supreme Court has the issue. So only until the Supreme Court rules, Judge, correct me if I'm wrong, only until they rule is there a final judgment.
Okay, wait a minute.
Let me ask
Wait, no, he just lied to the people.
Wait.
And I call him a lie.
What?
Let me be honest with you.
Okay.
See, I'm straight.
Go ahead.
He have not filed an appeal. He filed a notice of appeal. A notice of appeal and an appeal is two different things. Is that right or wrong, Judge?
You're right.
Where is the appeal that you filed? When have you filed the appeal, sir?
The notice of appeal was filed.
That's what you filed. So you have not filed no appeal, and the Supreme Court has not taken up anything. Stop lying to the people.
So are you saying, Warren, are you saying that you intend to appeal?
That's what he's saying.
Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is the appeal attaches under the rules once the notice is filed and once the $200 fee is paid.
Okay. I got you on that. I can follow you on
Well,
that.
okay. Wait. Hold
So
on.
I want to ask you, are you intending in doing that? Are you saying you're intending to go forward with an appeal on this order?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's why. If Judge Ford, by his own recognition, got one issue wrong in the rule, what other issue did he get? The original order is fraught with error. Let me just tell you, and this is one Mr. Archie may have said. The order said that Mr. Archie was in fact the incumbent. Did you read that, Mr. Archie?
Hey, brother. Now, you know I'm one of the best witnesses in them. Don't ask me no question. Now, you asked me a question, and so let me answer your question.
Yeah.
Listen, now, when I ask you a question, I want you to answer the question the same way that I asked you, and I'm going to tell you, no, I have not read that. Now, I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask you another question. I want you to answer the question that I asked you. No.
Let me finish. So Judge Chapman, in the order, in the June 9th order, he does designate, Judge Ford does designate Mr. Archie as incumbent. But he set aside the results. So if you set aside the results, shouldn't the incumbent maintain the seat? Well, that's the problem.
Well, that's confusing on the face of it because at that point, we already have someone sitting in the seat.
That's exactly right. The order is fraught with error. Not only from an evidentiary standpoint and a legality standpoint by terms of complying with the case law.
So let me ask you this question, Brother Warren. Let me ask you this question. Okay,
Judge Ford didn't want it. He didn't know he couldn't set precedent. See,
right.
I didn't know there is a statute, a specific statute that says when special elections are passed, you have to have a 60-day lead to allow for absentee voting.
That's
So
not
Judge
true.
Ford
That's
on
not
the
true.
bench, 45 days. He was out there,
Well, that's in line. That's in line with the question that I have, Brother Warren. The question I have is now, according to the order, it's 45 days set within that time period. Do you think that your appeal to the Supreme Court would be heard within that 45-day period?
It's about, so you know, like I know, Judge, you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. The record has to be prepared, the transcript has to be prepared. So you got a court reporter and you got circuit clerk both doing their job to get the record and transcript prepared. After that's done, the appellant typically gets 40 days to file a breach.
Right.
After that brief is filed, I believe, in this case, Mr. Art and his team will get 30 days. After that, the appellant gets another 15, 20 days to respond. That's not including if the Supreme Court wants oral argument on it.
Right. So my question in that is, should the election go forward within this 45-day period? Now, let's just say Mr. Archie wins. So then now the Supreme Court would have to void that election and start over again. Is that the process that you would see it?
No. I don't think the government is going to set a special election because there's no finality of judgment. Let me tell you what they.
Okay.
So holding the state, local the state council, everybody focused on the state, they didn't understand that. The state is not the issue. There's not a finality of legal judgment. This is what I mean. Let's say the election was held on the 14th, like the election commission had planned.
Right.
Let's say Mr. Archie won that runoff, right?
Right.
He was the winner.
Okay.
But while Mr. Smith was making his appeal, if the Supreme Court said, wait a minute, on the merits, Smith is right, there never should have been a special election. Then you got two competing different legal outcomes.
Okay, now we've given him enough time.
So yeah, you clarified that.
No, wait, don't hang up because I got my questions for him.
Wait, but I want to get you out.
But I got my question for him because I told you he lied. I'm getting ready to read his lie to you.
I got a caller here. I want to get in before we get off.
But I need to ask him one question.
You'll get a chance after this call. Thank you, Brother Warren.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on there. Be brief. Are they still there? Okay, go ahead, Dave. Wait, here they are. Okay. Are you there, caller? Yeah. Be brief. I only got a few minutes now.
We don't want anything else.
You ain't not following up, man.
I can't understand what's going on.
Look, man. Warren Martin ain't done nothing but sit here and lie to the people. Now he's gonna be the governor. Now he's gonna tell the governor what the governor is not gonna sign. It don't say that the governor should sign. You tell me what does this say? It when you vacate the governor, what?
Shall
mean that you must.
Shall is different than
should
or may.
Yeah. Shall is that what?
Shall is the definite.
See, Warren Martin, I'm a better lawyer than you, and I'm not even a lawyer. Look, you cannot. You've lost four. He's lost 4 times. He want to talk about what happened in the court. Ask him about what happened in the Supreme Court on 2 occasions.
Okay, so
he lost.
So let's
ask him what happened in the circuit court on this occasion. He lost. I asked him, did he lose? Judge, he couldn't even admit to the fact that he lost in the circuit court. Everybody knows that he lost in the circuit court, and he couldn't admit to that. He's just a flat foot liar.
Well, I'll say this is I really want to get this out of here.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm glad he called in, Warren. I'm glad you called in because I really want to have a debate between Mr. Archie and Mr. Smith before this 45-day period is up. I'd like to have them both on the program, open up the lines to the callers so that they can present themselves. I've had Tony Smith in on a previous show. Now David is in on this show, and I'm saying if he would uh, allow that, we'll have this debate. I think there's Warren calling back. Did you hear what I just said, Brother Martin?
On behalf of Supervisor, we accept that challenge. We only gonna do it on WFPR. We only gonna do it on Ali Sheffield Show.
I accept it. I accept that challenge. I accept that challenge.
Well, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna open it up, Brother Martin. We're gonna open it up, and each one to get a chance to present themselves as they see fit. You know how we do it.
Now, since he's on the line, I want you to stay on the line now, Mr. Martin, because I never did answer you didn't answer my question. So he spoke about a 60-day absentee thing, did he not?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you that he don't know what he's talking about. I'm gonna read it to you from the Secretary of Clerks, Secretary of State office. Since you have a special election that is to be held within 45 days of the court order, the absentee ballots and applications should be available for absentee voting as soon as practicable. And the absentee voting should start this week if possible. It didn't say that it must be or shall be. It said as soon as practicable. So Warren Martin don't know what he's talking about. It don't say nothing about no 60 days. It talked about because it was within 45 days that practicable may be the day before the election gets started.
Okay, brother Martin, I'm glad you accepted that challenge. I'm to the last minute here, but we're gonna make that possible, brother. We're gonna make that possible, and I hope your man is ready. I'm sure he will be if you coach him, but he'll be ready, and I'm gonna open the lines up for him.
Let's do it. I appreciate the invitation. We look forward to being with y'all. I think this will help the discussion. And the people just need to know who's worthy enough to hold the seat.
That's what it's all about, brother. Thank you for your call, brother.
Thank you, brother. Good night.
All right, Judge Shamsuddin, I'm gonna just tell you one thing. If I'm as sharp as I am to debate in a lawyer that's supposed to be able to represent clients, you would get the best supervisors that you've ever seen sitting in that seat to debate the issues of government money coming into the community and going out to fix things in the community. I'm the best of the best. I want the people to please understand that y'all need to go out and vote for David L. Archer, a man with a plan, a man that would take a stand on July the 14th. Thank y'all so much.
It's all about the people, and as we say, we're going to make it possible, and we want you to tune in.
Give them that date now, July the 8th.
That'll be July 8th. July 8th. That's the date we'll have the debate here.
And you're going to invite the news media too, right?
I'm inviting everybody that want to participate.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Lady Cherie, take us
right.
out. Standing for the people.
Controversial always.